this is Super Jake, this is Super Jane, this is Super Dad, and this is Super Fanny Club.
So today we've watched The Incredibles, which is the third film in the Pixar Theory order. And we're going to tell you what we thought about it in regards to the Pixar Theory.
The only connection I see is in later films, which I'm not going to go into detail, but it was linked into Monsters, Inc.
Oh, see, I see a lot of connection. Because if you think about it, how did we get supers? Where did their powers come from? They could have gotten it from the Will of the Wisp in Brave. Because we have to look at this. All right, we've seen Good Dinosaur, we've seen Brave, and now we're at The Incredibles. So, where did their powers come from? Because there were a lot of supers.
Pixar Theory doesn't really explain that.
Well, it kind of explains the supers, but it's a bit of a stretch. Because the supers are magic. And Syndrome is making a lot of the technology that is going to enable somebody without the magic to be a super. But it looks like he doesn't actually get done with it.
Right? Jakey, what did you think of the movie?
So, the movie was good, but when, Jack, it was, going on fire.
So, any other thoughts on The Incredibles?
I think later on in Monsters, Inc., Jack could turn into a monster, so the mutation that Jack had is
Could be foreshadowing. Since Jack is so powerful and has all these crazy powers, in this movie we just saw him turn into metal, the laser eyes, the fire, the going through the walls. And
That happened in the second one.
it does.
A ton of superpowers already.
Yep.
But he has way more.
He does have way more, and we see that in the second movie, which that will be our next is The Incredibles 2. That is the next movie to watch in the Pixar Theory.
Because the first one happens right after.
That's right. The second one takes place right after, with the Underminer coming out. So, if you're watching along with us, we have done The Good Dinosaur, Brave, the first Incredibles movie, and now it's time for Incredibles 2. So leave us a comment and let us know if you think, what do you think of our version of the Pixar Theory? We're kind of coming up with our own to kind of recap. Good Dinosaur kind of shows us that this isn't our world. This isn't our planet. It kind of started its own timeline when the meteor missed the Earth. And we saw the dinosaurs evolve, but they eventually became extinct due to weather changes, which is just, they were bound to leave. Then we saw Brave, and that introduced the idea of magic. And so we watched The Witch, we watched The Will of the Wisp. Now we have seen incredible technology in the 60s and 70s.
Or 50s.
Well, we're not exactly sure. Somewhere between the 50s to the 70s in The Incredibles. Amazing technology, along with the idea of superheroes,
and artificial intelligence.
Our theory is that it has to do with the magic that was introduced in Brave.
All right, so if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and watch Incredibles 2 with us. And tell us what you think about what we said about Incredibles 1 in the comments.
We just watched Incredibles 2.
Yep, so now we see what both Incredibles, the original movie, and Incredibles 2 give to us. Incredibles 2 shows us a younger generation of superheroes that have come onto the scene that were outlawed even throughout the first movie. And the Incredibles now, or the superheroes now, are going to try to get themselves legalized. Having the younger generation means that there were still superheroes out there. They were still making new superheroes.
And that means there's still more magic.
Yeah. So the magic that we were introduced to in Brave, that's still around. It's still making things happen. And eventually it's going to probably make inanimate objects start doing some things. Leads us to Toy Story, which is the next movie in the timeline of the Pixar Theory after Incredibles and Incredibles 2.
And the part of Incredibles 2 is where from in the first one he started to get powers from our clothes at the end.
Who?
Jack.
Jack had all kinds of crazy powers, didn't he?
And also, just to mention, the car, Mr. Incredible's Incredimobile, whatever it was called, was taking verbal commands from Dash as to what to do when he wanted him to follow the boat. So they have really advanced AI, and we don't really have it explained whether it's just some computer figuring out what to do based on verbal commands, or if the car was made by somebody who also did magic. We don't know how much of it is technology and how much of it is magic.
So what we have got is a generation of people creating people with powers. Obviously, not everybody does. Not everybody has powers. And incredible technology that is way more advanced than what we're just starting to have today. But this is supposed to be in the 60s or 70s. So it's amazing technology, which, jumping ahead just a smidge, we see how fast that technology goes by the time we get to WALL-E, because they have spaceships. So obviously this technology trend is just going to continue to propel us forward.
So we've seen Incredibles 1 and 2, and our next movie is going to be Toy Story 1 and 2. If you want to watch those with us, watch and then watch our video about our thoughts on Toy Story 1 and 2. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.